Alrighty, folks, if you are not following this young man, you are missing out. He's put out some amazing stuff on Instagram. We're actually going to play with the post here in a minute. But Dylan, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's a good day to have a good day. Rolled some jujitsu, got a good workout on this morning, and second meeting
Nice.
of the day.
There you go. There you go. Well, you put out a lot of great stuff, very emotional, very kind of raw. And it's amazing to see what you're doing at such a young age, because if you just kind of close your eyes and listen to what you're talking about, I could very easy see this coming from a 40 or 50-year-old. Do you realize, the stuff you're putting out there are decades worth of wisdom? It's fun to watch.
I appreciate you saying that. I didn't really think about it in that moment. I think I just try to collect the stories and the lessons along as I go, and hopefully that hope that it resonates with some people.
All right, we're going to try to play this out. I'm going to actually play it on my phone, put it by the microphone. We'll let it run. I think it's about 40 seconds, but then I kind of want to break it down because, folks, this is Dylan sharing with you what the ultimate cheat code is. I think a lot of you, even including myself, frankly, are overthinking it. We're trying to modify who we are for other people, and as Dylan says, this is the ultimate cheat code. So let's give this a play and see how this works out.
Being yourself is the ultimate cheat code. I used to be afraid of being myself, but now it's the thing that I'm most proud of. I don't play by the rules, water myself down to fit in the room, wear a mask online, and I definitely don't wait for permission. I do this in business, friendships, even how I train. I set the tone and I let the rest recalibrate because I don't fear rejection. Rejection isn't failure, it's feedback. Another rep, another lesson, another layer of armor. MLK Jr. once said, thermometers reflect the room, thermostats set it. So be real, be rare, be undeniable. That's how you win without faking it. Being yourself is the ultimate cheat.
That's a lot of stuff in there. You crammed a lot of stuff in that 40 seconds. Where do you want to start? What was the most meaningful part of that one for you?
Um, yeah, let me think. I I think a good place to start, in my opinion, is kind of just starting with the first line and kind of what that means to me. With being yourself is the ultimate cheat code. Um, I think what I've observed with a lot of younger people specifically, and I think a lot of people do this too, especially when they're just trying to get into business or whatever, maybe trying to make friends. A lot of us start with the wrong mindset going in, which is, how can I make this person like me? Which is, in my opinion, the wrong frame to be approaching it from altogether. Um, I've learned the more that you are more of yourself, assuming that that person's not an asshole. So let's assume that you've done the right things, you have good intentions. The more that you just embrace your quirks and flaws and like really hone in on who you are, you magnetize the right people in your life and you repel the ones that don't. And it's hard to believe that at first because you think that you repelling certain people means that you're not likable. But if you try not to be likable and you just try to be yourself, you end up becoming more likable as a happenstance.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. There was so much in that. The one for me was, failure basically is feedback. I think a lot of people look at criticism or feedback as, somehow making them less. When in reality, if you just change your orientation, it's simply feedback. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be negative. And that is just so powerful. Again, one of the three books I always recommend, Jocko Willink. Why am I drawing a blank on the
Extreme
title right
ownership.
now? Yeah, Extreme Ownership. Thank you. That's how I run my life. I never want to give anybody else power. I never want to blame anybody else, because as soon as I blame someone else, I've given away my power. And so again, just look at it, take the lesson, take the learn, take it if you want it, and move on. And then how you closed it with the MLK kind of thermostat and thermometer. That's just another very unique way. And I think he said that in the 60s, right? Might even been
Yeah.
the 50s. So
Yeah.
a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, on the topic, I appreciate that. On the topic of what you're talking about failure being feedback, uh, and a lesson, not just failure. Um, I think it's super super important, and I think to your point, people just look at it the wrong way. It's the same word. I just think you get to define it differently. Like failure, I think has such a negative connotation that you feel like you're failing at something or something's going wrong. Um, I always use this analogy whenever I'm like telling people about failure. Um, I think it's the best thing that could ever happen to you because like if you, as an example, like step up on the home plate, and every time, I'm not a baseball guy, but for the sake of analogy, if everyone can get this, every time you step on the home plate, you hit a home run every single time. You're not thinking, what can I do to improve? Because you're the man, like, or woman, right? Like, you have nothing to improve. But the moment you do step on home plate and you get hit by the ball in the face a couple of times, you're gonna be studying. You're gonna, like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I think it really does serve a huge lesson for us to really like dial things in and build things up and to become really like meticulous about what our next moves are. And the reality is too, like, they don't make movies without struggle. You know what I mean? So there's always some type of struggle in the movies. So approaching your life through that lens too, I think is helpful.
Yeah, I mean, anything you want to do in life that it's making you better. You're going to have missteps. You're going to have failures. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have lessons, and it's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
Right. You want to become a millionaire. You want to lose a lot of weight. You want to be good at jujitsu. You want to, you want to flip a home. Whatever it is, there are going to be obstacles and pain and, all of that. And just know that going in. Don't dwell on it. Don't grind on something. Just learn the lesson. Right.
Yeah.
I ran sales teams for decades, and all of my guys knew this one thing: mistakes happen. I can forgive mistakes as long as we learn the lesson. I did not tolerate repeated mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. And that really did me well, because again, we're all going to learn and get better, and things do change, but I just don't tolerate repeating mistakes. That's just, that's a definition of, being crazy, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It's kind of insane.
Yeah. On that topic, I'm someone, and perhaps there's people in the audience that are a lot like me in the sense where some of us, myself as being one of those people, tend to touch the stove a couple of times before I realize it's hot. I prefer to have third-degree burns before I move my hand. The cool thing, though, and this precedes a couple of things that we've talked about before, but if you take so much action in such a short amount of time, that for people like us that tend to have to learn a little bit harder than others, you're getting so much of that burn consistently that it's still happening a lot faster than most people because you're failing so frequently.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is, how meticulous do you monitor your personal network? You've undoubtedly heard you're the average of your 5 friends, or all of those things.
Yeah.
How meticulous do you audit your own personal network, and do you sometimes have to make painful choices and cut off relationships and find new ones as you're growing?
Yeah, all the time for sure. That's a really good question. I think I was probably spent a lot more of my time and being more meticulous in the beginning for sure, just because I had so much work to do. I think the compound interest of actions that I've made before has kind of paid off now, so I don't have to be as meticulous in terms of like trying to meet a whole lot more people, because I've built a really good community. Now the compound interest, like, good people just come to good people, so you kind of just meet people as you go. Um, but I'm constantly auditing my circle, yeah, and like just checking in on my inventory, making sure that I'm adding value to my friends, that my friends are doing good, and like not even just I think the audit. I think also just auditing, like, am I being the best version of myself I need to be for the friends that I care about? Because at this point, I have a lot of really good people in my life, and like, if I see them slipping up, like in their personal life or with their fitness and stuff, like calling them to keep them accountable and just check in and see what's going on is something that I do consistently too, because I'd want them to do the same. I'm trying to just basically train them, in the way that I'd want them to be a friend of me, that I'm that person for them as well too.
Yeah, rule number 7, folks, never forget it. Audit your personal network. Are they helping or hurting you? A lot of you have people in your life that are hurting you. It's really hard to float if you're holding on to an anvil. You can only tread water so long. So watch that. Be careful. And again, monitor it over time. I've been lucky enough to be doing this for 30 plus years now. I've changed my personal network probably half a dozen or 10 times. And it's okay. Life happens. Life changes. Priorities change. You change. They change. It's just watch your personal network, because if you don't, it could ruin you.
1,000%. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, and on the point I feel like I didn't give enough weight there, but it's so, I mean, it's probably arguably, in my opinion, one of the most important things that you can do. I'm in a, and I think you are too, in a privileged position because of actions that we've made before, that our network is probably pretty damn good. And sometimes people grow separately. Because we've made such meticulous actions for a long time, you have the compound interest just like money, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
good people naturally are attracted to good people. So it eventually becomes a lot easier to network and to build relationships. You have a reputation now, you have character that people kind of tell other people about. So there's all that. But I'm still actively making a very like intentional choice to meet more people, take more people out to coffee. And I'm constantly adding people to my network and seeing if they fit. And if I do, the other key benefit of that too, as being a go-giver, once you continue to build a network with more people, you can kind of start to figure out where other people need help, and you can
Yep.
be that people connector, and people never forget who connected them. And you don't have to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
direct person to add that value, but if you, hey, this person's struggling with this person's struggling with this, they both can have like yin yang to each other. Like,
Yeah.
let me connect them. I think they'd get along.
No, that's beauty. And again, folks, not to do this again, I normally don't, but rule number 3, grow your network. Meet 2+ new people a week, right? Certainly be doing that in the beginning. It's not, it's easy to meet new people, ask for introductions, ask for referrals, put yourself out there. You know, relationships. One thing that I didn't really understand, Dylan, in the beginning was real estate's a people business. Right. I thought it was spreadsheets and numbers. Certainly spreadsheets and numbers are important, but at the end of the day, it's about the people.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, I appreciate you taking time between your busy schedule, all of these meetings. You're going to be at the Vegas event. You're likely going to be kicking off day 2 of our presentations. Dylan, if somebody wanted to follow you and listen to all this great stuff you do on IG, what's your handle?
Yeah, it's here in this right here, but it's Dillionaire 321 DYLLIONAIRE 321, just think millionaire, but with a DY in the front of it. Yeah, I post everything I know, but from lessons, you know, I'm learning along with the journey, stuff that we got going on with deals, our structured deals. So I do everything I can to help people out, to give people what I wish I had when I first started.
Dillionaire 321, folks. It's right there on the screen. Send him a note. Actually, tell him thank you for coming on Aurat. Just let him know his time is valuable. Buddy, you're amazing. Take care.
You too. Thank you.